Like a scaffold with strong vertical and horizontal lines, the survey is a structure for the renovation of forms and ideas. An architectural space is re-earthed with grass landscapes, magnetic fields, and monochromatic planes. This minimalist vision supports a cast of ancient stone markers and fragile glass figures. The objects are building blocks in a practice that seeks beauty and meaning through minimalist form. They are characters in a narrative surveying the conditions of this time. With windows to the east and west, the survey exhibition invites warmth and light. The natural elements activate the artwork's reflective and absorbent qualities. Concealed content seeps out, and minute details spark curiosity and surprise. Each artwork proposes questions, discoverable through the object's materiality, form, situation, and title. The artworks explore cultural contexts, geo-political systems, and philosophical ideas. They spark internal dialogue and external debate. A new order starts to unfold through first forms and symbols recast and connected to the earth. Survey proposes an aesthetic and conceptual framework for a feminist rethinking of systems and ideas, a decolonising of women, Indigenous peoples, and land. On the layered planes of the gallery walls, a suite of monochromes develop the survey's framework. In a quiet corner, the carved all-black draws people in close. The black square in a white wall opens a void or a portal to another place. Proclaiming an all-encompassing darkness, all black, the universe, mysticism, and creation legends come to the fore. In Christian theology, the dark is a cloud of unknowing, a divine space. In Te Ao Māori, the darkness is associated with Te Kore, the void of unlimited potential, a nothingness with nascent organising systems. Inside the pitted post-colonial frame, the grid lines of all black describe an infrastructure with multiple units forming a whole, a collective or team. From the dark to the light, the crisp white monochrome Untitled surprises up close. Repeating units of newborn nappies, diapers, are stretched open and woven in an absorbing geometric grid. This blank canvas is loaded with emotion. Vulnerability, nakedness, and memory surface and swell into universal values-based questions about kaitiakitanga, the care and protection of humanity and Mother Earth. Estimated to take over 500 years to break down in landfill, this disposable work challenges environmental goals and art conservation conventions. Extending the Duchampian archetype, the ready-made morphs into a being made, a permanent work in progress. Making a virtue of entropy, Untitled attracts and repels. Its title reflects the unknowing in the space before birth. Another being made, the dormant grasswork Natural Selection, proposes a landscape escaping its borders and breaking the rules. The artwork rejects Darwin's theories on natural and sexual selection, where organisms which adapt to their environments are more likely to survive and reproduce. With its own internal operating system, it is designed to endure. The dense root structure of the cultivated turf is stitched into a linen field. This Australian couch grass can be revived after years of drought. The kiln-dried Canadian cedar stretcher, known for its stability and longevity, offers an ideal frame. The finest Belgian linen, also known as lawn, is a superior substrate, the most suitable for history painting. This all-natural yet archival artwork holds in play its own end form. Refracting light and shimmering, the magnetic prick heightens the senses. Its fine hair-like surface tempts touch. Tens of thousands of tiny sharp steel pins defy gravity and float across the linen field. From a distance, a surreal landscape connected to the pulling power of the moon. Drawing people in close, prick seduces while holding the potential for steely rebukes, friction, and sexual intent. Tension rises inside the sensuous surface. The alpha steel shafts push others aside. The final monochrome in survey is a precisely calculated, polished black skin. In 13% painting, abstract representation, a small cutout in the black high-gloss surface is placed at the viewer's groin height. A symbol of female sex, the slot absorbs and excises the reproductive organs, bringing gender and representation into play. As a snapshot of data, the area cut out equals 13% of the surface area and the depth of the painted skin. This proportion captures the 2010 percentage of women artists on walls of leading galleries and on art power lists. In framing the wall and reflecting the room, 13% painting highlights the surrounding structures like a contextualized databank. Viewing painting as both verb and noun, the artwork itself becomes a critique of the conditions it is trapped in. The monochromes in the survey exhibition pivot around hysteria, standing at centre stage. Hysteria is loaded with tension, a sign of the times. Like a mediator between past and present, it recalls a terrible history and stands in noble dissent. In composition and title, the sculpture calls up medical and social theories of hysteria based on ancient notions of ideal femininity. Traced back to the ancient Greek hystera or wandering womb, the pseudoscience was applied to female maladies and symptoms such as free thinking and descent to marriage, and justified treatments which incarcerated women's bodies and minds. Compressed between pillars of stone at head height, the smashed clear glass I1 of hysteria reveals fractured nerves. The head rises up from a void described between two towers that act as body and legs. Hysteria is broken but whole and grounded in the earth. The self-declared sovereignty of the I form reclaims the body and the mind, recentered in the rhythm of life. A tower of beauty and resilience at one on the threshold of vulnerability and strength. Backing up hysteria, 5 black glass figures march across a nearby wall. Creating a multi-layered spatial field, the suffragettes turn a corner and punctuate space. Shaped as the first-person pronoun and the number 1, first, the suffragettes uphold the work of the 19th century activists who won the vote and the right for women to be defined legally as a person. And they note New Zealand's leadership in achieving this human right first. Cool and contemporary, the suffragettes occupy space in the present tense. Gender conflates into an androgynous geometry with softened internal corners and polished edges. This editioned sculpture is open-ended because there can be no limits on the number of suffragettes. Isolated like a minority, the fire-red siren allures and warns. Viewed as an abbreviation for island, siren evokes the eponymous island-bound mythical creatures of ancient Greece, whose songs lured sailors to their doom on rocky shores. The human-like symmetry and the colour red expand focus to notions of identity, bloodlines, and race. Red carries wide cultural significance, especially in Asian cultures, with potent meanings from warding off evil to conveying courage, passion, and strength. Like a stop sign or a call for individual action, it offers an antidote to hate, resonating also within Asian languages where the I form makes the sound of love. Survey is anchored by a triptych of stone markers, emblematic and spiritual, first forms. Zealandia at Home imagines an ideal home in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to place the ancient stone monument titled Zealandia. Made from an indigenous stone that predates human existence, this ex-figure evokes Māori creation stories, bridging heaven and earth. Like clashing tectonic plates, the twin planes of stone intersect and rise up in a primordial rainforest. an ecosystem that encapsulates the origins and fragile beauty of the Earth's recently discovered eighth continent, known as Zealandia. In this emerald green landscape, the totemic stone figure is isolated and autonomous. Zealandia at home imagines the birth of a nation and anchors pre-human DNA to the land. The first in the X-Figure series, the granite sculpture Aroha, refracts and reflects light inside and out. In Te Ao Māori, Aroha is at the heart of connections between people, ancestors, and whenua, land. As a symbol of love, the sculpture proposes a text message and a kiss that combines, multiplies, and connects. Made from an igneous stone from the magma at the Earth's core, the form reprises early cave drawings, X markings that record human migrations across continents and oceans. An X mark was used also by Indigenous peoples when signing treaties affecting lands, governance and rights. On New Zealand's Te Tiriti o Waitangi 1840, the Treaty of Waitangi, the X signatures of rangatira, Māori chiefs, have a presence and power that transcend material worlds. In the sculpture Aroha, the quill pen markings on Te Tiriti are set in ink black stone, inscribing the baseline axis, X, on a young nation's geopolitical map. Not I calls up spirit figures and ancestors, made visible at dawn and dusk. The text, with its usually crisp I sound, becomes a barely audible whisper. With the addition of a light source, the void casts a shadow, strikingly present like an ephemeral being, shedding light on a transient existence. Carved in Portuguese limestone from a protected quarry at the Antipodes to Aotearoa, New Zealand. The sculpture describes an absent presence. The simple beauty of this hesitant assertion is found also in close view. The ancient stone outline holds traces of tiny fossils and smooth internal curves, a cave-like space, reconnecting I-1 to its primordial roots.